You stole my thunder, Perry. Thank you. All right. Well, I think that you can tell a lot about a person by the day that they were born. And, St. Patrick's Day is the luck of the Irish, and my dad was born the day after. So what has really been instilled in me is that it's never about luck, right? Luck is where opportunity and preparation meet, right? And that's what really makes luck. And that's really the culture that he's instilled in his players throughout his entire career. And really through his knowledge, his dedication, and his ability to motivate athletes, he was able to turn a group of girls that were okay. We had some potential, but through his dedication, he turned us into a powerhouse program that dominated Section 4 over a 10-year span. And some of his stats, and you all see them in front of you, but 341 wins, 91 losses. That's a 789 winning percentage. 7 state championship appearances, with 5 of them actually resulting in championships. 9 Section 4 titles, 8 stack championships. And the fun fact that I noticed on here was, of the 291 wins he had at SV, he takes credit for the 198 shutouts. I don't know about you, but do you think that you're responsible for the shutouts? But Dad, in fairness, he did call a hell of a game, and I tried not to shake him off as often as I could. But Dad, countless girls are better today based on the impact that you've made, and you've preached mental toughness, work ethic, and to strive for greatness. And the most important thing is that translates far beyond softball and into the real world. And while your coaching style is unorthodox, we've lovingly called him the Bobby Knight of softball for years. He was always able to get the most of his girls and really to take us to create that culture of winning. So I'd like to say, while you have 2 state championships on me, I have 2 years earlier in the Hall of Fame. But welcome to the group. Love you.
I said I wasn't going to shed a tear here, and then she starts with that. But how lucky am I to be introduced by a Hall of Famer who just happens to be my daughter, the person who set tons of records while playing at Susquehanna Valley, and at the same time making me look good, which isn't easy. Still looks like she could play. Thank you, Barb. Love you. Thank you to my wife for being a rock when I needed her, which was a lot. She saved my butt a lot of times when parents wanted to kill me. Love you, hon. And to Grandma for her constant cheering. Barbie to Shar, which was our pitcher and catcher. Over the years, I have made lots of friends and maybe enemies in the softball world. I met Perry Novak way back when our travel team, probably 14 and under, was playing a tournament at Lafayette. I had no idea who this guy was, but eventually I found out he was a good guy to hang out with. A bond was formed that will last forever. Where would softball be today without the painstaking efforts in preparing all state selections? Thank you, Perry, for letting me be involved in the Mudville experience. The fire that the parents built in a shopping cart in 25-degree weather over on field number 2 when there were no fences. The dog stealing our balls. The use of your car and dragging the field. Can you get your car in on these fields now? I don't know. Okay. All at the top of my Mudville memories. In our first trip to the Morabito, held then at Portchester, Mr. Bill Shaw taught me a lot about how important it was to play the best teams. He taught me that to win the state championship, you had to win the Morabito. With every Morabito tournament, our friendship grew stronger. And eventually we ran the Morabito together. And then eventually I took it over. And then eventually Perry took it over. Who they said couldn't do it. Perry, I guess you've proven them wrong. Thank you, Perry and Bill, for being the reason softball is so great in New York State. You guys encouraged me to take on the great teams with guaranteed Hall of Fame coaches. from CNS, Williamsville South, Mechanicville, John Jay's Fishkill, Minisink Valley, Pearl River, damn it, and my good buddy Jim McGowan in Bayshore. A little story about Mr. McGowan and I. We both traveled to Minisink Valley to play a scrimmage. I think Bruce right now, Mr. Guyette is like putting his head down. We both traveled there to play a scrimmage. Mr. Guyette, coach from Minisink Valley, comes over to our scrimmage while he's in between waiting for his. He brings a notebook to write down all the things that Jim and I did that was much worse than he could ever do. During the scrimmage, I had a runner, I think, going into second. She was stealing, and she stood up. And Jim's infielder didn't perform fundamentally to what he expected. Jim started getting on his kid, pretty loud. And at the same time, I'm trying to scream over him to tell my kid that she's got to slide. Coach Guyette, in the meantime, is writing like mad. So I asked him, "What are you writing?" He said after seeing that, he was convinced that the parents could never be mad at him. Special thanks to all the kids that played for me, for all the trials and tribulations that they had to put up with. Without all of them, I wouldn't be here today. I am truly blessed for having the opportunity to coach at the high school level and being one of the honorees today. I'm pretty lucky that I get to coach one of the top teams in the country as well at the travel level. I couldn't be any luckier. Thank you.